Hey, folks. Good morning. So, we're going to go through the Drake website, and I'm going to give my personal opinion on this stuff. And it's based off close to probably 6,000 hours of playtime between I really started heavy around patch 3, I think 315 is when I started pretty heavy. I pledged way back in 2016, but the problem is the game, you would just log in and it would freeze and crash. So it really became kind of playable in that, for me, in that 315, 316 kind of time phase. About a year and a half, 2 years ago is really when I started cranking out my hours. So we're going to go through and I'm going to give my opinion on some of this stuff, and it's going to be a super critical. I'm not going to hype train this, and because it's based of the problem with Star Citizen, or the issue with Star Citizen is your player experience is really based around the ship, and it's kind of has that immersive. And I'm going to use the word fidelity a lot, and we're going to go through all these. So we're doing. I haven't seen this yet, so we're doing this together. We're experiencing this together. So as we look here, we have the Buccaneer. I really like the Buccaneer, and I know some of the big PvP community has put this F tier, and they say that the nose is really weak, but I would give this a buy, and reason being is it's super, it's a boom and zoom, super, lots of DPS. Default loadout is fantastic. Uh, Moderate to high level of fidelity. I give this a yes. And if you pick it up now, you get the 10 years of insurance, which the insurance thing is such a gig, but we're gonna that's regardless. But if you have one, melt it and get the 10 years insurance. But you'll be happy with this. It's a competitor with the Gladius and the Arrow, and I know they're like, oh, it's blah blah blah. And it fits in that same rule set. And if you're doing PvE bounty missions, it's a yes, yes, yes. And it can take a lot of damage. It's got a relatively good flight model. It's for it's in that same category. Yes, yes, yes. Let's see what's next. Come on, come on. Here we go. Um, I have the concept of this. I love. The problem is that they talk about modularity, and it is such an old ship, and the fidelity is so low, and it's only got the one point of access. It is not a good experience. It's super super jank, and it has gotten better. It has gotten a little bit better with the advent of the cargo system and cargo snapping. So that has improved it, and the tractor beams, now that they're online, that has improved a little bit of its play quality. And for the price point, it is better. I mean, I can't believe I'm saying this because $330 is wild, but for the price point, it gets you into that higher level of cargo hauling. But it's an old ship, and it's super dated, and a lot of it's just meh. It's meh. I wouldn't recommend. I give this like a C plus. Okay, let's see what's next. Um, so they went through and they fixed the flight model in this, because when this first released, it was super jank because they were really pushing for this. What do they call that? Not atypical, but a I forgot the term. They were going for this where not everything was matched up, not everything was even on both sides, and so initially there was some issues with the flight model, and if you took a little bit of damage, you would start getting this really weird torque where the ass end would kind of flick out on you, and it would kind of spin out of control. But they fixed all that. I probably ran 25 bounty missions over the last 2 days with this, and no issues whatsoever. And the problem with like a lot of the Prowler, for some reason, in the HRTs, they like to ram you, and I've been rammed by 3 or 4 Prowlers, and it knocked off one of the guns, and I was able to take the gun off the Prowler and put it back on the front of the ship, and continue with the next mission, and not be able, and not like get caught up in that whole loop where you got to go repair and it comes with 8 size 3, but the level of fidelity on this is amazing. And you can also stick, even though it says 72 cargo, you can actually stick way more than 72 cargo in there. You could probably put closer to like 100, maybe, because I stuffed a 32, the big 32 cargo in there, and it didn't gridlock, but it easily fit in there. So I did one side where I gridlocked them in, and then I stuffed the big 32 cargo in there, and I had no issues. And it'll haul. So I give this an A plus. Highly recommend. It's good in HRTs because the kind of the new meta is all these HRTs drop loot, and you want to be able to salvage the loot. And although I like the heavy fighter or the fighter meta, it's not profitable. And so if you want to be profitable in your bounty missions, you kind of need something that has a little cargo that can put down and has the shield capacity. So you're kind of stuck between this and like, there's like 4 or 5 ships that you can really do in order to make money in your bounty, or if you have a buddy, you can call him in. Like if, let's say you find a ship that has a bunch of stuff, you can call your buddy in to come get the cargo once you find it. But if you're playing solo and you want to make profit, this is like an A plus. And it's got a high level of fidelity. It flies good. They've gotten all the kinks worked out. It took like 6 months or to a year to get the kinks worked out of this, but it's in a really good place. I highly recommend this. With the man, it's wild. These things are starting to get so dated now. And when they added the tractor beam, it's like non-functional. Like you can tractor beam stuff, but you can't put it in the back, and it's not aging well. Especially with the new C1 and A1 that come out, I would not recommend these. I get the C1 over these. I would not recommend any of these now. I give these, before they were like solid B pluses. Now I give them like B minus. They're not really where they're at anymore. And this is still kind of a niche thing. The gameplay loop is not fully. This is not worth the money. I would like to see them go through and redo these and make. I don't like to give criticism without recommendation. So I would like to see them go through and do like another version. Get rid of the man turret. Put a remote turret on there that can be operated through the co-pilot, which makes the vehicle smaller, gets the vehicle size down. And then you pick up some of that functionality like the 3 or 4 times zoom. And I would like to see them kind of go through and do an interior update and not change the whole model out, just change the turret configuration out, change some of the weapon configuration, ditch the rear tractor beam, upgrade the turret, and do a because the problem is that rear tractor beam can't see into the cargo hold. This is that police model. We don't have the prisoner gameplay loop. It's supposed to do the interdiction thing. That's kind of not fully fleshed out in the gameplay mechanics. This is actually out of all the cutlasses, this is probably the most functional, like legit one there is. You can see they ditched the turret. It's got the 2 med beds. So they're only size 2 beds, so you can't resurrect from them. But it does 12 SCU of cargo. Like if you're gonna get Cutlass, I think this is hands down. Like I'll give B minus, C. I'm gonna give this an A because it's functional. Like everything is legit how it's supposed to be. Even though the interior is a little dated, it's still solid. This is a F. This is a joke for what they're asking. The kind of the gag with this is it holds like 20 people or 25 people, and it's like at one point that was half the server. It's just it's a meme. So stay away from this. Oh look, it even says D. So the problem that I have with these is that a high level of fidelity and great for that new user experience. And it's got like 4 SCU of cargo, and it's a super cheap entry point. The problem is the performance is so low. I mean, they're just only good for like Quantum Across the Galaxy and going to a bunker mission. But if you encounter any NPC pirates or bandits, you cannot escape. Like they're gonna shoot you down. The performance, me and my buddies, we all like. My buddy melted his first, and I was like, "What, bro? Why'd you melt your ship?" And he's like, "Man, that thing's a dog. It's a dumpster. It's a flying dumpster." And it's not there. And I realized that they've come out with a couple different versions of it to try to make it like introduce gameplay loops, and that's good that they're reusing those assets and keeping it fresh. But it's just it's the performance. You can't get away from anything, even with these giant. You think should be able to escape, but you're not escaping. You're just getting put down. So here's the scout variant. Same. It's got the increased radar. The radar gameplay loop is not really in the game yet. I have seen that ships that, I'm doing air quotes, had radar. You would get typically, like I noticed with a regular ship, you would pick up something around 11 or 12K. And if it was an exploration variant, you might pick it up at 15K. So they've kind of got like a soft implementation of it in the game. But it's the same issues, right? It's got a high level of fidelity. It's a great little ship to fly around, but if you get caught up in an encounter, you're done. You're one and done. There's no escape. I think out of all of the little kind of hovercraft trikes, this is the only one that has the co-pilot aspect. So that's kind of neat. Ground vehicles can be purchased so cheap in game that might be a solution for you. I really wouldn't. I wouldn't recommend these, but they are cool. So it's use case, your own thing. Some of the issues is they're so big. They're better if you're wanting for a hover ground vehicle. Sometimes there's better choices than these. Like the Nox alien vehicle, you can put 2 of those for the size of one of these, because these things are actually quite big. So I give this a C just because of the practical use. It's not really all that. I give these a B. Solid F. This I can't believe this thing is so. This is entirely based off of a gameplay loop, data running, and they've been talking about data running for 5-6 years. And so the only thing this is good at is ramming. Like it's a giant thruster. It's supposed to be super fast, but it's not. Stay away from this. Don't spend any money on this. And my recommendation is you will end up melting this and putting this into something else. We may not see this in our lifetime. I mean, you talk about the ship log and the ship assets. I will have my AARP card by the time this comes out. This is the privateer. This is supposed to be like the shopping mall experience, right? The good thing about these is you'll get a bunch of loaners. You'll basically get the entire matrix of ship loaner vehicles, because the CIG does do a good job. If you buy a ship that costs a bunch of money and it's in concept, they'll give you a whole bunch of loaners, right? So you kind of get your money value of the concept while you wait for it to come out. But this has been 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. Yeah, we're not going to see this for like another 6 or 7 years. So I can't recommend that. This is a joke. This is a complete disaster. The forklift doesn't work. You can put one SCU in the back and back end, but they've just implemented tractor beam. Why would you use this if they have all these ships that have tractor beams and they just implemented a new there was in the last patch there was a ability for you to put stuff in there and then save the configuration and then stow it, and then whenever you respawn the ship, you could get your stuff back. So it was like a kind of a soft reclaim system. So if you had bought armor off the website, you could put your armor in there, save the configuration, stow it, and then whenever you like die to an elevator or a server crash or you fell to the planet and you lost all your stuff, you could reclaim your armor that you bought off the website. So that was like a case purpose for buying this meme machine. I just can't believe they're marketing this as like functional and legit. This is a joke. It's unbelievable. And you can buy these in game for 6K, or it's just unbelievable how cheap these. Don't spend the money on this. That's a solid F. This is actually a really good gameplay loop. The problem is though, is I think it's too much money, but this is a solid gameplay loop. You could spend a couple thousand hours in Star Citizen doing this gameplay loop and make decent money. Like have a legit Star Citizen experience with this vehicle, but I don't think, and it's still going under a lot of work, a lot of work. Like they're adding the munching thing. Just buy one in game. It's out in game. Get one in game. But it's a good vehicle. I give this a solid B plus. Oh, that's it. That's it. No concept. I thought there was rumors that there was supposed to be some new concept ships. I guess they dropped the ball. I guess there's no new interesting. They had even talked on the website. Let's see the let's see here. Let's see if there's let's see if there's anything new in the stay away from this extra standalone. Sometimes now I have the concierge, right? So they'll throw these jumbo packages at me, and because I've spent more than $1,000, they got my dumb ass, and so I'm not seeing anything new in here. I'm really surprised that they just have the same old tired shit. I'm really surprised. Yeah, so once you get concierge, usually they'll have a paint variant. You'll get a paint variant that comes with Nightfall. So that if you're they give you access to the concierge. Um, like I was able to get the paint scheme. I picked this up, which I'm real happy with. This is a great, lots of immersion, high level of fidelity, new player experience. Like highly recommend. Um, I'm not seeing anything in here. The 300s, fantastic value for price. I was gonna pick up a 600i, and then after flying it, I just was like, yeah, that's not the experience that I want. Um, I was pleasantly surprised with the Cyclone. It drove and handled wonderful. The physics are just such a disaster. Um, Let me see. I'm not seeing any. There was supposed to be like this concept ship thing that they have been talking about on the website, unless they. Let's see something real quick. Bear with me. Let's see gear. Maybe they introduce some new gear. Let me see. Nope. I know there was some new gear that was supposed to come out for the IAE event as well. Um, hmm. It's wild that they don't have. Yeah, I think the Corsair, hands down, is like the best at player experience. I'm looking right now. Count. Let's see if there's any. We're going to the concierge page. Let's see if there's anything in here that's, like, it's such a joke. They got all this shit. They haven't even updated the concierge page with. Okay, here we go. I think this was already in there though. You can get the whole paint bundle on the concierge stuff. It's so meh. You know, this could be this Galac mid-size hauler. This could be a great experience when it comes out. Crusader, like so far what I've seen, the big winners from this year so far are the Galac starter ship, Galac starter ship, and the C1 are hands down like two of the best purchases. But if you're a diehard Drake fan, the Corsair is where it's at, in my opinion. The Corsair is where it's at because man, I can't believe there's no concept. I really thought that they would have because the whole internet was talking about this. If you had to get a second Drake ship, I would say the Corsair is number one, the Medic is number two, and Buccaneers number three. Those are my top three picks for the Corsair. All right, folks, I don't want to make this too long. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Give me your feedback. You know, a lot of these are based off of like 6,000 hours and just the fidelity and the gameplay experience. And I'm not saying that they're the best ships. That's my recommendation around. You know, I've owned all of this stuff at one point, melted them all, rebought them back, and then remelted them again. And it's like, even though I like the design concept of where the Drake stuff is at, some of this stuff is so old. Oh, wait, as I digress. Thank you for watching.